Okay. This is the called installation option page. Okay. Just go and click on the products. Okay. So normally when the consultant, whenever they start implementing it, so they should know what are the modules which is required for the particular project. Okay. So which are the modules are required to be configured. So you need to, like, normally they will do it. They will select those modules, and they will select those modules, and they will select those modules, and once they save, so there are kind of components and the pages which is linked to the each and every module will be automatically open for the configurations. Okay. For example, okay, in the set of financials there is a BU related which I discussed, and common definition related and the product related. Okay. So if I enable very few modules here, then relevant pages and the components for this particular for the particular BU related, product related, and common definition related pages will be enabled. Okay, because there are a lot of modules interdependent, and the configurations in each and every related also interdependent. Okay, so depends upon my configuration selection that my products selected in the installation option level. So those relevant pages and the components will be automatically opened by the database. Okay, so whenever this implementation comes on, they will buy a license from the Oracle, and when they are buying a license from the Oracle, they will also subscribe for their products. So which are how many modules they are going to use, and to that further they will subscribe to the Oracle. Okay. If something, okay, for example, I have not subscribed to one of the modules, but still I can use it. But when you use it, when you get any kind of technical issues or which is required Oracle assistance, once you raise to the Oracle, Oracle will never support, and Oracle will penalize. So for that the additional module you are using for this particular automation. Okay, so that is why normally, even though the pages, the modules are available, depends upon the license you bought. So those modules only will be enabled in the system. Okay. So this is a page where we can see what are the modules where I can use it. Okay. So once I open these the modules, then only I can configure those in the setup financial, the BU and product related level. Okay. And there are a couple of overall configurations which will be enabled at the overall product level. Okay. Okay, so this overall configuration is like it is okay. This is at the company level, okay, the organization level where they configure and implementing it. Okay, so when I'm implementing this, okay, what are the common information commonly common? So what is this document sequence? More transactions. Okay, so depends upon the requirement. It is not necessary to use the document sequencing in each and every company. Okay. Depends upon the requirement they will use. They will see whether they want to track each and every transactions, and each and every transactions will be associated with some document number. Okay, so that will be like used, and whether you want to use alternate account, whether the companies, some very few companies will use the alternate accounts, the alternate accounts where you can use for the reporting purpose. Okay. So whether if I want to use the alternate accounting in my company, so if I want to use this, you need to just enable that particular alternative account option at the installation option level. So the initial option level means it is the highest hierarchy in the Peoplesoft. Okay. So if I configure here, that means that entire Peoplesoft in the particular organization is enabled. Is this my voice is audible to Gayatri and Jonathan?
Yeah, I can hear like 60-70% of it.
Yeah, same here.
What about Gayatri?
Yes, same here.
Okay. I'll try to buy a new headset tomorrow. Okay. Multi-book engines in the software. I think you are aware about the multi-GSL multi-books, correct? So whether my company, whether they want to use the multi-system, multi-subsystems, multi-book engines for the subsystems, if you enable, then only you can do it. Okay. And apart from like document tolerance, like whether you want to use the document tolerance options, then you can use this legal entity. Legal entity is one of the concept, like okay, if you want to use legal entity concept, for example, multiple entries in the one country can be clubbed and be reported with the one legal entity. Okay, so whether you want to use those kind of to kind of reporting purpose, then you use the legal entity unit concept. Okay.
What is this GIS integration?
uh, Global interface staging. Okay, that is like a server side. Okay, so any integration which is required from some of the countries will use LIS, that is like a local interface staging, and some of the countries they use like a global interface staging. Okay, where the data you need to be like stage your data. Okay. So depends upon the company only. There is a pure technical. You don't need to just you can just use it. Okay. Because all the data, whatever the data you use in the database, the data has to be stored somewhere. Okay. Each and every data will be stored in the database, and some of the inbound files and outbound files will be generated. Okay. When you are doing the inbound and outbound files and integrating with the multiple system. Okay, there is a like server, the servers in the server, global interface staging areas, and the local interface user will be okay. So when you are using that, then only you will use this particular options. Okay, even if you without enabling this option, also like for the server level, they will do some configuration. And the inter-unit method. Okay, I will highlight only whichever is important. Okay, because as I said earlier, there are a lot of options will be available in each and every page. Okay, but depends upon the company, the kind of nature of the business they do. Okay, they will do the configurations. But what are the pages, the configurations available is considered across the industries and across the requirement, and those are available in the Peoplesoft. Okay, so whichever is required to the particular organization, only those will be enabled in the company. Okay, so and one more important thing is like inter-unit transactions. Okay, when you are doing the when you are doing the inter and intra-unit transactions, okay, so there are two things will be there. Okay, a direct and indirect and phase method. Okay, what is exactly this does? Okay, when you are doing the configurations for the inter and intra-unity setups. Okay, so there are certain way of configuration changes. The differences are there. Okay, when you are doing it direct, you can just directly configure and you can create a template, and those templates will be enabled at a GLB level. Okay, so some of the indirect method means where you can just like few configuration changes. The paste the one more method where the additional setups has to be done. That is only the difference, except that there is no much difference. Okay.
So let's say if I don't check up the enable document setting, then what will happen?
Nothing will happen. Then what will happen is you cannot use the document sequence option at a subsystem level or a G level.
Okay, can you give an example?
Okay.
So an example.
Yeah. Let me take AP is one of the example. Okay. when it enable that allow the document sequencing, okay, in the when you're in the installation option level, that means it is the highest level of hierarchy. Okay, so if I enable this document sequencing option at a installation option level, all the BUs, all the BUs, GLBUs, subsystem BUs, everything, that so document sequence option will be automatically enabled. That means what will happen whenever you do your GLBU configuration or subsystem configurations, you have to define your document sequencing number. Okay, if you don't do it, so the configuration will not be completed. Your system will not allow you to complete your setups. Okay, so if I not selected, then what will happen? So you don't want to track all your transactions, inbound, outbound, the subsystem level, GL level. You don't want to track, okay, with the sequence number, the document sequencing number. If you don't enable that option, so that configuration itself will not be enabled at the GLBU level or subsystem BU level. So it is not required you to you will select the particular option, and you are not able to see the document sequence option page in your subsystem level. Is it okay?
Yep.